Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
Me, DK.
And me, Than.
Bringing you your weekly double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force.
Weekly-ish.
Weekly-ish. It's, you know what, I say weekly, we'll put a caveat in there. There's always air quotes around weekly.
Yeah, and it's really more of like a triple tap now since we've had 3 hosts for a while. So
That's
I
true.
guess this is like in Brisbane where they play with 2 ammos. Fucking heretics.
Yeah, so this is kind of the first week that we recorded post ECT, and by all accounts it looked like it was a pretty damn good time. So we thought we'd gather and have a yarn about it, but before we get there, while it's sort of still fresh, I put a post out this week on the tournaments page on Facebook, and just asking for, confirmation of who's actually coming to internationals this year, which is July 20th to 24th. Man, the response is huge.
And it's in Auckland. Don't forget where it is, Steve-O.
True. It's in my backyard. Come and...
Okay, I'm double checking my tickets right now. Okay, good. I got the right dates in the right place.
So, I mean, you guys are both booked to come, yeah? Like, you have your airfares and shit down, right?
Yeah, breaking news on the podcast. Fireball DK 100% in.
DK, you seem stoked about it. Than less so.
Just...
Van has coronavirus right now, so I think he's got some other concerns.
Yeah, I've been flat on my back for no good reason for literally the last 2.5 days, and literally we had our album release show last night, so there was some question, kind of, but not really, as to how that was gonna go. And I mean, it was awesome.
Congrats, by the way.
But yeah, it was definitely a show that I felt really shaky the whole way through, because it's just like, oh my god, I am just fucking exhausted from whatever the hell this is, and this sucks. But it was a great show, and people really dug it, and early response on the album so far is really, really good. So it's
album's
nice.
available where all good music is sold.
Album is available on every single digital platform you can imagine. So if whatever your preferred flavor of streaming is, search Josh and the Jet Noise and you'll find us.
I mean, I feel like at this stage we've got a high level of juice with our audience, and I'm sure you'll be hitting platinum by the end of the weekend. So get out there and start buying / streaming music, folks. Support our local fan. This is, I guess, the best way to go.
Semi-local fan. This is how special we feel, that then we'll literally only get out of bed to play a rock concert or record the Resupply with us.
I mean, that's not too far from the truth.
He's a vital component to both things. So, we're glad you pride yourself out.
He's also the only eyewitness to ECT among the 3 of us, so he's kind of essential for this program.
Yeah, otherwise we definitely would have recorded without him.
Oh yeah, no. If either of you guys had been at ECT, it'd have been like, okay, yeah, I'm peace out. You don't need me for this.
Yeah. Although if either of us went, we would have recorded already. We would have done it there.
True.
Yeah.
Hey, me not recording there was not my fucking fault. You can all eat a dick.
I blame, you know what? I blame the Brits. I don't know why, but this is on you, UK. Nah, just jokes.
No, not even a little bit.
All right. Well, look. If you guys haven't already done so, or if you're in the throes of doing it, buy some plane tickets to come down to Auckland for July. I think my last count was somewhere in the mid-60s in terms of people who were on that list.
Jeez.
Which is just fucking ridiculous.
Crazy.
On so many levels.
Absolutely crazy.
Fortunately, I've heard Auckland is a very spacious site, so I'm sure it'll be very comfortable for everybody inside the building.
You know what? You'll be all right.
I mean, it's literally kind of getting to that point. It's like, oof, are we starting to get to, we're gonna have to tell people, yeah, no, you can't play. That's kind of a scary thought.
Well, so there's two ways to look at that. The first is if you've already bought a plane ticket, it's kind of hard for us to be like, you know what, actually, you can't play. So the more people kind of confirm with me that they've actually got plane tickets, you know, the easier it is to kind of come to that like decision. I have a feeling, as per what happens every year, you know, people will come out in the wash. Like we'll see a significant drop off of people. Probably, you know, the plans change or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I have a feeling that some of the people on that list won't end up coming anyway, so it might be moot. But we'll cross that terrible bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
the other thing is, if we get to the magical number of having 12 teams, and we can separate into two pools, like as much as it sucks that it's going to cut down on socialization between some teams and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it would kind of alleviate some of the pressure on the building and scheduling and stuff like that if we're going to have people playing in essentially two different pools and two different shifts.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got contingencies in place if we do get to 12, but like 12 is kind of the max. Well, no, it's not kind of. 12 is the max. Doesn't really work if we have more than that. Doesn't really work if we have 11, but we've kind of talked about that in the past.
This is not Spinal Tap. We cannot go to 11.
quick PSA as well. I went and had a chat to the staff at the Aristotle Hotel, which is the hotel probably 200 meters up the road from Laser Force, which is, I don't know how much in feet, like what, 500 feet? Is that conversion right?
it's close enough.
Yeah, it's like
Americans are not going to know anyway, bro. It's fine.
The point is,
it's
you
fine.
can roll out of bed and you can go play lasers. It's why I booked there and why I wanted to make sure I reserved the room early. But now everybody else wants to crash our party. So what the
yeah.
hell?
Well, so I went up there, had a look around, had a chat to management. Sent them an email this week. They're gonna try and like sort out some sort of discount for traveling players that say that they're here for the tournament. I don't know if that's going to end up panning out, but if it does, great. If not, at least look to stay there. But they are filling up relatively quickly, so you might want to tackle that this week. I'll send an email out maybe a message out on Facebook in the next sort of 3 or 4 days just to double check whether or not that's going to happen.
Yeah, if you're one of the cool players, you should stay there. If you're not cool, then don't stay there because I don't want to see you.
Yeah, if you're not cool, go stay with the guys from Oakley and Takapuna.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not cool because I'm definitely not staying there. So.
Yeah, like honestly, you're staying at least 40 minutes away from the site.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know exactly how far away from the site I'm staying.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got other considerations to consider with things.
You
so.
can't actually get too much further north without leaving Auckland. So.
I know. Believe me, I am well aware of where I am relational to everything else.
I mean, you live here, you know where it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, which is one of those things that, you know, since a bunch of my wife's family is coming over, and you know, to spend some time with us at the same time. You know, there were considerations that had to be made as far as, okay, well, this isn't just so that I can be convenient to lasers. It's so, you know, the rest of the family can be convenient to doing other things. So.
I mean, that doesn't really compute for me. Like, everything revolves around Laser Force. What are you talking about? How do you take into consideration other people? Well, look, it's shaping up to be a pretty damn good tournament. So, yeah, buy your plane tickets ASAP, kids. It's gonna be fun.
Or don't, whatever.
I was super hyped this week.
Hell yes. Well, so you
actually got like my plane ticket and my hotel sorted.
That's awesome. Like, that's basically, yeah, well, not basic. That is, you're confirmed to come. No ifs and or buts.
Yeah.
Did Did you get travel
That's the
insurance?
reality.
That's a good question. Did you get travel insurance?
I did.
I've had the travel health insurance. I couldn't secure the insurance on the ticket because I used my credit card points to get it, but in that sense, it was kind of free? Question mark.
You might want to double
Paid
check
for
that.
over a series of years.
They might include travel insurance with your air points if it's a credit card. Maybe not if it's not. All right. Well, look, we'll get into like more Nats hype as we kind of go along. We'll maybe have some conversations with people once they actually buy their tickets, and I'm sure, much like Scythe, people will want to make certain announcements on the podcast. So we'll see. We'll see.
That was such bullshit when you did that for him. I'm still slightly bitter at this point that we did that for him, but whatever.
You know what?
It made him happy, and
Yeah.
and I got to be grumpy Than during it, so it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fine.
Yeah, if you want to make an announcement, start your own fucking podcast, people. Like, that's on you. Come around here, sully our good name. Right, so ECT.
Yep.
How was it?
I've had a little over a week to kind of think and reflect on it now. Overall, it was a lot of fun. It was for what it was and what it was intended to be. It ticked all the boxes. I mean, whenever you have something that is a kind of an extension of a concept that had already been done, but just taken to the nth level, as it were, where you've got a salary cap and levels, and you have to build off of those levels, and work a team from that. It's always going to be kind of an interesting scenario, and then you add on top of it, oh yeah, we're gonna do random positions every game. So I really went into it with the idea of this tournament is just here for fun. I mean, yes, I'm gonna play hard because that's what I do, but you can't necessarily take all / any other results too seriously, because that's the nature of a random draw tournament.
Right.
Some games the draw smiles upon you, and some games the draw looks at you and goes, "You're kidding, right?" And fuck you. But all that aside, I mean, it was fun. There were some, there were definitely some learning moments within it, as far as we did this and we should probably not do that again, and I'll get into that in a second. And for as for as much grief as Britain and Blackhammer got for being tournament coordinators and head reffing, there was some potentially some challenges with them not always 100% understanding what exactly the role entailed. But by the same token, it was the first time that either of them had stepped into that role, so the first time is always going to be different. I know Beans was doing still a little bit of behind the scenes massaging, trying to keep stuff straight and narrow as it were. But it was nice / interesting to have essentially people, not me, Baden, Beans, DK, Josh, because even Josh has done some stuff even though he won't admit it. It was nice to have somebody else doing those roles, and it was absolutely fantastic for me every time somebody would come to me with a question and get them rant on a little bit, being able to say, that sounds like a tournament coordinator question to me.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah. But I mean,
and
in saying that though, like most of these guys, well, I mean, I can kind of talk on mine and Dimmy Hawk from Auckland, like with our kind of what we're going through at the moment with Nats this year, people lean on the experience of the guys that have come before them, right? So like, even though that you guys aren't directly involved in that stuff, people still draw on your experience and the stuff that you guys have done in the past as a template for how to do things going forward. So your stank is all over it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and it's not like there weren't some specific instances where I didn't help because I'm a jerk. I'm not that much of an asshole. But it was very liberating to be able to not be having to make all the decisions.
Yeah.
I had literally forgotten what that's like. I'm actually not sure I ever knew what that was like. Now, kind of thinking about it, I don't think there's been a tournament that I've been involved with as a player since I started that I haven't had some sort of role in.
Right.
So yes, it was nice to be able to say, yeah, you need to go talk to that guy. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, for all that, I mean, I think they both did fine for a first time. I think, as with anything, yeah, the first time is always going to be a bit rough. There's always going to be things that, they're probably going to look back on and go, maybe I should have handled that a little differently. Maybe I should have handled, just different situations within the week. And that's, but that's normal. I don't think any of us get out of a tournament in that type of position where you don't kind of look back and go, maybe could have handled
There's
that
always things you can do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again,
But still, it's good to have just some new people get involved in that process, so it's not, the same people, the Illuminati, as we're so affectionately referred to as, doing stuff all the time. So more people getting involved and more people kind of shouldering a little bit more of the coordinating duties. I'm happy to see it. So, good on them.
Yeah, or, people like picking existing ideas up and kind of putting a new spin on them that ends up bettering the tournament. And I guess that's kind of how we are, where we are now with the streaming and, commentary and yeah.
So the one thing that completely fucking surprised me as far as the thing that was just like, took off and people were really digging on, the fucking fantasy league.
Yeah.
What in the actual fuck? Seriously, I didn't even bother listening to that podcast beforehand because I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Who the fuck cares about this?
Yeah.
And then like being there and like seeing people like really, digging into it. I'm like, oh, right, because we're all huge fucking nerds.
I mean, is there any surprise that a stat-based competition gets picked up the way that it does?
No, and I mean, and that I just have to put my hand up as that was just for some reason I just had a complete fucking blind spot to it. So I'm gonna put my hand up right now and say, okay, yeah, I was wrong. That was actually pretty cool. Because you have to be able to admit when you're wrong about these things.
And so as a result of that, Brisbane's, Trad just put together Brisbane's local fantasy league, and there's a different spin again on that. So, and then we'll likely run one for nationals. So the more it gets kind of refined, the better it becomes, and I guess the more interactive the competitions become for people who aren't able to attend them. They can still feel like they were a part of something kind of cool. Just want to probably give a shout out to Morange because I think he actually won the fantasy league.
I do believe he did.
Yeah, I mean the dude does sports stats for a living, so whatever. But good for him.
Yeah,
I, on the other hand,
and
did poorly.
and then obviously we have to give credit to Cody for
Oh,
actually
yeah.
putting that shit together. So
For sure. Thanks, Cody.
I know he was
Yeah.
very hard at work on that.
Yeah. I think going forward there's more integration from Russell's side of things with
Yeah,
the
get on it,
stats.
Russ. What the fuck?
No, I think he's already sorted something out for the prison thing. So the more automated it becomes, the better. I think these games will be to play because stuff will get uploaded in real time, and it should be a bit of fun going forward. So how did you feel you played then? Like, how did the tournament go for you personally?
It was up and down. It was interesting finally actually, playing out in the field a bit in that maze because in 2011 I didn't. And that was really the last time that I played there, bar like 2 games that I swung by in 2016 while I was on a road trip. I had some absolutely fucking atrocious scout games because it was not good. I had some not good scout games. I had a couple of really good scout games too, but I had some games where just like I never worked out all the angles.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you fucking kidding me.
And that's what that maze is, right? Like, basically full
and
angles.
The maze is nothing. Yeah, full of angles, and I just didn't work them out fast enough. But yet I still apparently performed at the top of range for people who've been ranked as 7s going into the tournament. So
nice.
I couldn't have been too atrocious, but I didn't feel like I played to the level that I should have. But I've also got really high standards for myself.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean it was good to actually get into a maze and shoot things with lasers and all that fun stuff.
All that stuff that you guys are currently lacking in at the moment.
No, I mean I've
bastards.
been really lacking in it since I moved here, but I only get to play at tournaments.
Yeah.
So I spend the first 2 days trying to kick rust off, and then it's like, oh, the tournament's over. Fuck.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Yeah, I may have gotten a couple of messages from Russ especially from Russ since he actually went to the tournament, like having come back and saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna need to hit the gym for Nats." That was a little bit of a wake up call.
Oh yeah, no, Russ, our finals game, it was game 1. Yeah, I mean he drew a 3-hit, and he was trying so hard, and he just couldn't.
Yeah.
He was a little
You old, bruh.
couldn't by the end of it. It was, I mean, but again, I mean our team was built, it was built to, if we got results, awesome, but it was more to have fun and see friends.
Yeah.
So, however,
Yep. Well, that's why I picked you guys to win, and I was definitely correct on that. Oh wait, no, I wasn't. You guys came in 7th. Jesus Christ, letting me down.
So one of the learning lessons from this is when the teams were when the team numbers were chosen, they already had pools assigned to them, which in hindsight was a huge mistake. And the reason this was a huge mistake was since we were essentially playing a seeding round off the jump, there was no reason to break the pools early. The pools should have been broken at the end of that 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 round, because what happened
Yep.
is at the
That was
end
gonna be my
of
comment.
what happened at the end of the round where you got to play everybody, all of one pool was ranked 1 through 4, and the other pool was 5 through 8.
Right.
But because we were fourth in the pool and fourth overall, we became the 7th seed, which
That's odd.
yeah, it's I mean, literally one of those things that you don't necessarily think about in the initial, because, oh, what are the odds of this happening? Well, it happened. So so it becomes a, therefore going forward, if you're going to do a schedule like this where you do have essentially a seeding round of everybody plays everybody before you break the pools, you don't pre-assign the pools.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the.
I think that
is
was kind of the
big
consensus that I heard from a number of players was just, well, all of those were good ideas. It's just they should have happened in a slightly different order.
Right. Well, I mean, and I suppose, looking forward to nationals, is there a benefit to kind of playing that, first round, everyone plays everyone kind of thing, or?
So my thought there is that there is something to being able to say that you've played every team at the tournament.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those things. I mean, obviously, as you scale to more and more teams, sometimes timing reality just becomes, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if we can manage it so that you do get at least that one match against each team off the jump, and then split pools, I think you then end up with a better overall tournament experience. Because you let's say we have 10 teams at Nats. Yeah, I know we might have 12, but let's just say we have 10 for right now. You play that first round, everybody playing everybody, cool, and then you split pools, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's your two pools of 5. You do the things with those pools, and then however we decide we're doing the finals brackets after that.
Yeah.
I think that becomes the best compromise, because obviously with 10 teams trying to play 2 full rounds where you're playing everybody, it's not really gonna be. It's not necessarily going to work time-wise in the way that you want it to with that many teams.
Yeah.
If we were at 8 teams, sure, we could do it easy, but I don't think we're gonna have that few teams this year. So.
No, I don't think so. I think 10 is.
I think we're looking at minimum 10.
Yeah, I think 10's the likely number. All right. Well, I mean, yeah. Again, it comes back to you look at what's kind of been done and how you can adjust things going forward to make things a better experience for everyone. So, I mean, at the very least, that's kind of what ECT is proving to be, because there's been a couple of really key, changes, or variations.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I mean, if ECT and WCT should always be looked at not only as development tourneys, and this year was fucking spectacular for
sure.
being a development tourney.
It was really more of a miniature internets.
Yeah, pretty much.
That too, and get to that in a second. But the amount of newer players, and because it was salary capped, and because you had to bring in those newer players to play with more experienced players. There was a lot of really good growth from a lot of the players at this tournament. So again, however I might feel personally aggrieved at being placed 7th after being in 4th after round play, I'm not bitter. I'm super bitter. I'm actually not. I'm actually not as bitter as I sound. It was still a really fun week playing.
Yeah.
That seeing the level of growth in players, and seeing these things that these tournament tweaks that worked, and these things that this thing that didn't work, but you didn't really figure there was any way that what was going to happen. So in the normal course of things, I mean, really, why would you ever expect all 4 teams from one pool are ending up 1 through 4 and the others are ending up 5 through 8? I mean, it
seems unlikely, and yet
it's and yet so yeah, we take this as a learning lesson, and we move forward.
So what is the next regional one that's kind of on the cards? Is there like a WCT coming up, or is it that basically it?
There's talk of a WCT, probably sometime after Nats. There's also talk about arranging some kind of coordinated road trip to either St. George or Loveland, ideally in early April when I have time off from work.
Yeah.
So we can A, play some lasers because some of us are homeless right now, and B, maybe get in a little bit of practice before Nats with players who may be planning to play together once people in the U.S. start to figure out exactly what the teams are, because there's still a lot of question about that right now.
Yeah. Maybe I have a look at Yeffia's.
You always do, buddy.
Yeah. We got a shit ton of air points, and my birthday's in April, so somewhat birthday present for old guy next door.
Yeah. Well, last year when we went over spring break to St. George, it was a fantastic road trip, and did some hiking, played a whole bunch of games, and we're thinking of just kind of doing that and making it, I guess, at least an annual tradition until we have a site back or something like that.
Yeah.
But then when there was talk about going to Loveland, and some people piped up about that, I said, oh, well, they actually have some really good hiking out in Colorado too. I wouldn't mind spending a week of spring break out there. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll talk more about it on the pod and on Facebook and whatnot.
Yeah, as stuff kind of progresses.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we should delve into what actually happened at ECT in terms of results, right?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
I mean, we could, I guess.
Have you got?
I will say the stream was such a two-edged sword for me and my FOMO. Having to watch it at work was kind of a killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was fun to see, though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, have you got the results in front of you, DK?
I do, since I can only live vicariously through my fellow Lasers players. So the winners of the tournament were the Hart Foundation, aka Bean's team.
Nice.
He
was the
runners
captain,
up,
though, right? Jib was the captain.
I can't remember if he was the technical captain. I mean, he probably said he was just a player too, but he was working on the stream and a whole bunch of other stuff. So Beans can never escape at least some responsibilities. So I apologize to whoever the proper captain of that team was. Runners up were Sanchez Cult, aka the all Syracuse team, the ringers, so to speak. They put on a really good show. Did very well during round play. Wasn't a big surprise to see them in finals. And then there were a whole bunch of other teams in the middle, and then Than's team came 7th.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wait, who came 7th?
But shout out though, given finals, big shout out to El Diablo from Germany because he was killing it at a critical position. Obviously, being fairly new to the tournament scene, he was one of the lower ranked players for the tournament. I think he was what, like a 3
3,
or a
yeah.
4, something like that, and
Pretty sure
drew
he was a
heavy at
3.
least one game, if not both games of finals, and definitely held it down and let
Nice.
some of the other players do work. They drew Jerbear, I know, at Commander for at least one of those games, so that
Oh,
was definitely
nice.
a good draw for them on
Yeah.
that side. But still, anytime you get a newer player getting a 3 hit, you don't know how it's going to go. But Diablo, man, he really came through in the clutch for them as well.
I hope he comes
So it was it
to
was an, it was
Nats.
an exciting match to see. So it was good. As much as I say, it was painful to watch from work, it was a really exciting finals.
Yeah.
So hats off to all you guys.
Nice.
Well, and honestly, his skill level from West Coast to East Coast, night and day. Because honestly, part of the reason he got hit as a 3 was because West Coast, West Coast, the Germans spent a lot of time getting pounded on.
Yeah.
I don't. So his, his skills didn't really get a chance to, shine, as it were, and so it was like, okay, well, no. So yeah, he got put as a 3 and became one of the steals of the tournament.
Yeah.
As a 3.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what do we
Marcus,
always say? You learn a ton at your first tournament, and
For sure.
clearly that was
True.
the case with Diablo. Because, yeah, like I said, he was not playing like a 3. Certainly not by the end of the week. I was like, he's solid. He's playing up there with most of the other players on his team.
Yeah. Marcus, buy a plane ticket. Come to Auckland.
Yeah, I'd like to actually meet you, man.
Yeah, me too.
So I know he wants to.
Yeah.
He's trying to work out like this like whole massive southern hemisphere vacation with scuba diving and the Aussie titles and everything. Like he had this plan, and I'm like, dude, if you can pull that off, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty epic.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's such a nice guy too. He's definitely somebody that I would love to have in Auckland. He's such good value. Honestly, if some of the other Germans that came to West Coast wanted to come down to Auckland, that would be pretty awesome too, because they were all really good value. And then we had the British invasion as well, which was one of those like, okay, we've never had UK players at an actual forced tournament before, and now we've got 3 of them. This is cool.
It was Smalling McSmall, Poison Ivy, and who was the third
Brit.
one? Oh, the
Wezza.
Brit.
Yeah, the Brit,
Wezza.
aka Wezza.
Yeah, and so Wezza's been he's a Armageddon player. I mean, he plays a bunch of different systems, and his primary system is Qzar. And yeah, don't ever 1v1 the man. You will just cry and just walk away with your tail between your legs. It's bad.
Yeah.
But no, so there was a little bit of a rough start he had to the week with the shielding rule. It hadn't been quite explained correctly to him.
Right.
And so there were some challenges that were coming from that. But after I had a chance to kind of sit down with him, and give him a more in-depth, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to do to fix it. And once that was a thing, his week got much better. Because the first day he was not having a lot of fun, and it was not a good place mentally for him at that point. It was just not. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And really,
You definitely seem to have turned it around by days 2 and 3, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this stuff should always be fun. And Smalley McSmall and Poison Ivy, both just kind of like, Pip Pip, we're here to wreck shit, and they fucking did. So
That needs to be
Well,
on a t-shirt.
in chat, I kept referring to them as quote unquote as newer players, which from an international tournament scene is the case. But if you go and look on I Play Laser Force, Small McSmall in particular, I think is ranked like number 5 or
Split
6 for
heaps.
overall games played,
Yeah.
just worldwide. So clearly not a new player in that sense. So I apologize if anybody was misconstruing what I was saying about being new. I mean new to like the international tournament scene, and
Yeah.
I thought they both played pretty well too.
Yeah.
yeah, I think one of them is like 7 years playing. One of them is at like 11 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when they listen to this, they will send hate mail saying, no, it's actually this many years, you idiot.
Well, when we get
So-
them on the pod, like, they can dress you down,
Pretty
verbally.
much. Yeah.
If you played fewer
and-
than 20 years, you're new to me. So
Oh, I'm right there, right at the 20. Booyah.
you're almost
Yeah.
out of noob status, Steve. Good for
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
The original plan, I had planned to record a podcast with them while I was there, kind of like I did with the Germans at West Coast. Unfortunately, the scheduling at East Coast was a hell of a lot tighter than it was at West Coast, and
You guys had some long days.
and the gap of time that was like, okay, this is the gap that we're going to have. Yeah, that gap vanished because we ran late and teams were still playing. It was like, this is just not going to happen.
Right.
So, I've got them both on Facebook now. We'll figure out a time and we will bring them. We'll try and get all three of them at the same time. If we can't get all three of them at the same time, then we'll split it up into different pods and have more content or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
like
Coming
we
up
said,
on the resupply.
like I said, if we can like stretch out, one tournament into several months worth of content, perfect.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, quality is what we are here. Do you guys want to go through like the rest of the individual awards quickly?
Yeah, so we can do that. On the player vote side, there were 2 player vote awards that were given out. One for the, I guess, MVP, player vote, player of the tournament type of thing. Blackhammer walked away with that one, so
Nice.
good on you, Zach. The Preacher got sportsmanship. So I guess that's a fitting kind of name for a sportsmanship award there.
Well, and that's Matty Hart's, I think, and yeah, he genuinely earned that award for sure. I mean, he was playing every game with a smile on his face and complimenting people in game and just being a general joy to be in the arena with. So I don't think.
But did he
there's
bust
really
tables
any-
at the bar?
I was gonna ask.
He might have, and I just didn't see it. Who's to say? I mean, there is that bar right next to the site. Things
We
could
all
have
know
happened.
really how you're supposed to get that award now.
That's right. Yeah, busting tables and stealing tip money.
Does it really count as stealing? I mean, he did do the work.
Yeah, lazy fucks. Like, do your jobs properly, and then we don't have to. No. Right on. So those were the individual ones.
Yeah,
what were the
on the
other-
stat base
Yeah.
awards, you had maybe no shock. Brew coming in as the stats based MVP, even though
Nice.
he couldn't lead his team to higher than 7th. Still not upset that I picked you guys to win. Thanks a lot, Brew. Beans was nipping at his
Wow.
heels though, was only 0.18 behind him in MVP. Medic Killer, also Brew, with 66 medic hits, well ahead of
Wow.
Cody in second with only 56. Obviously, those two are going to have a lot of crossover. If you win Medic Killer in a draw-based tournament, you're probably going to get a lot more MVP points.
Yeah.
But Cody did end up getting something back as he took away the Golden Gun award at 91.44%.
Nice.
That's pretty impressive, especially
Yeah.
since it's unlikely you're going to be like pulling medic every game or something like that. So to keep your accuracy over 90 across all the positions is quite good. Melted Gun on the other side, we had a tight race between Assassin, Blackhammer, and Fox. Might have had a lot of ammo games that were drawn there, but Assassin took that one away. The negative 24K award for most penalties. It was very nice of Aiden Odin's Fist not to make Weza feel too self-conscious about getting a bunch of penalties, because he overtook him and got 12 penalties. So congratulations, Odin, you cheating piece of shit.
I mean, Odin famously accused oh wait, no, that's not the case.
The bomb diffuser, there's a tie between Lil Blaster and Akodama for 2 nuke cancels apiece.
Nice.
So nobody was able to take that one straight up. Nor was anybody able to win missile bait outright, because Poison Ivy and Lilbit tied at 37 missiles, largely because Hoodlum wasn't there to take the title from them, but he can re-earn it at Nats.
Yeah, I'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no doubt he'll be heavily contesting both Medic Killer and Missile Bait, and yes, there is a correlation between the two in his case.
Yeah.
And then for the All-Star, the stat awards for the different positions, we had a couple players who actually would have been eligible for 2, but because they wanted to spread these out a little bit, there was some diversity in the field. So Bruce smashed All-Star Commander, average of 27.81 on his Commander games. Granted, you only need a minimum of 3, but still averaging over 27 a game. I mean, that's some pretty crazy stats right there. Beans took Heavy at 24.45.
Baden had some pretty monster Commander games. We just unfortunately, really sucked when he wasn't playing 3-hit.
Yeah, I saw at least one of them where I'm pretty sure he was already like over 12K with, I think, about 4 or 5 minutes left of gameplay. And I said, oh dear. It obviously didn't go to time with him scoring all those points, but had there been more people for him to shoot, I think he could have probably piled up like over 15, if not 16K with that kind of score. So it was pretty crazy. So Beans, like I was saying, took All-Star Heavy. He also would have taken Scout. He was well ahead of the field at Scout with over 5 MVP points ahead of the next player. But having already taken home 1 award, that award instead went to the next 2 players, Princess and Phantom from Loveland. So good on them for getting the All-Star Scouts. All-Star Ammo again, Brew would have won this by 0.02, being ahead of Scythe, but owing to his smashing performance at Commander, that award goes to Scythe. So good on you, Josh. And then All-Star Medic was, to no surprise, Ghosty. Oh, wait, that's not actually Ghosty. That's Peanut trying to fucking troll everybody. Because, yes, announcement, everybody, Ghosty OX, that's Peanut / Britain / Scoony Boo Johnson / whatever the fuck his name is. Ghosty XO is the actual Ghosty. So, not that hard. Let's keep our players straight here, guys.
That sounds like some secret society bullshit to me.
Triangles everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Triangles everywhere.
Recap, so Brew, Beans, Princess, Phantom, Scythe, and Peanut. Those are your all-star players, so congrats to all those players.
Yeah, nice. Well done. It looked to me like a pretty damn fun tournament, to be fair. And
it was.
Much like you, DK, like feeling the mad FOMO vibes, sitting and watching the stream. Yeah.
So clearly it was great to go play at our own sites on the next Monday. Oh, wait a second. Only one of us can do that, so I don't want to hear about your FOMO, you asshole. I'm
playing tonight as well.
All right, that's going to do it for the Resupply for this week. I'll see you later. P.S. Fuck off.
Yeah. So we're like in the coming weeks, we'll maybe look to sit down with some other people that played. Would love to have a conversation with the guys from the UK, or guys and girls from the UK. And we'll also keep people updated with, what's happening as people buy plane tickets. I might start updating that list. There's a sneaky private US travelers group on Facebook. As some people
it's not
may
that private. We're letting in all kinds of riffraff into that group.
So as people
Yeah, what
kind
the
of
fuck?
as people start to confirm that they've bought plane tickets, I'll maybe update the master list so people can kind of follow along with that. But yeah, I guess that'll kind of do it for us this week. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add?
Is it Nats yet?
No, yeah, bro. All right. Well, for this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been homeless DK.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week.